Next is from
Over the
Keith
line.
Gallowagger, the subject is Ambrose versus Moxley. When Jon Moxley left WWE in his media press tour, he spoke many, many times about how much he hated WWE creative and how AEW was a breath of fresh air. So my question for all you guys is, wouldn't you say that Moxley had a better WWE? I mean, he's likely making 3 to 5 times the money in AEW that he was in WWE, but for me, and I know I'm not alone, the last 5 to 6 years of AEW have exposed Moxley as not only one of the worst wrestlers ever, in my opinion, but his creative has been some of the worst trash I've ever seen. The Death Riders faction alone, I'll give you my bank details if you guys three guys can work out what the Death Riders angle actually is. So K100, did Moxley have it better in WWE or AEW? I'll let Konnan answer this first, and I'll give my answer.
Well, I'm gonna say WWE because at least I enjoyed when he was in the Shield, and there's been absolutely nothing I've enjoyed since he's been in AEW. I wouldn't call him the worst wrestler ever because there's a lot worse than him, and but his creative I think has been really bad.
I think he had some decent stuff a few, like 4 years ago, maybe, right? But he started going downhill when he just decided I'm going to bleed every show no matter where I'm in the card, and I'm not even going to be careful about slicing
Right.
myself and everything.
That
And
was the
since
wildest part.
right, and since then he just hasn't like they've tried to make him to give him the belt, but his just it's like I can't. He hadn't really elevated from that. Been kind of like kind of like, bro. If you the way you look at this company is if you look at their creative of the characters, they you find out how much money they're making. You're like, how on earth can you waste this guy this much? You know. So and it's fascinating, and the fascinating thing is they make so much that none of them sit there like they're getting paid so much. Their creative is so bad that they don't want to upset the guy that gave the creative by saying like I'm not doing this.
Right. Because I think in
So,
between the
like, yeah,
boys, in between the boys, they're probably like, just do whatever he wants, keep him happy, he won't you. Yeah, and a lot of people do that.
bro, you're getting. Let me see this here. Let's say he's getting because it's very difficult. Okay, to be what's the word I want to use? To be upset if let me see this.
Well, let
Okay,
me say this.
okay, let me say this. Okay, if every 2 weeks, all right, like bro, you see what he does on TV, right?
Right.
Well, what's he? He's making 5 million, right?
Yeah,
Who?
allegedly.
Jon Moxley, allegedly, right?
Yeah.
Bro, you're getting a check in the mail for $191,000. Now $191,708 every week, every 2 weeks is coming. I mean, how did
Right.
all right? It's like you look at that and you're like saying
Yeah,
like,
and your only thing
hey,
is don't make any waves. That's it.
right?
Whatever I
It's like,
give you, just do it.
yeah,
When he came
But bro,
in,
it doesn't. It here's the thing. This is where I swear I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm better than you and all this. But I know that people like you and me and others, that whatever they're giving Moxley, we would have turned it around and made it way better.
right,
So it's also on him. You know what
right.
I'm saying? Because
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
look at the Hurt Syndicate. Everything they've done has been cool or positive,
and
right?
polished.
Right, right. Because they're on top of everything. They probably told Tony, "Hey, we know what we're doing. We'll tell you what we want to do. You just approve it or not." That doesn't look like Tony's writing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was a Moxley fan on the Indies, and then so when he came in as Ambrose, I was way into it, and they pushed him, and he was near the top with Seth and Roman and all that. And I always thought, and Moxley had the same opinion because he wrote it in his book that they portrayed him as a goof a lot, and he didn't like that. To the goofy. What did they call him? The Dean Ambrose. What was his name? The lunatic fringe. He hated that.
lunatic fringe, right?
So when he went to AEW, I was like, wow, we're gonna get to see him unchained and all that. That's what all the internet fans thought. We're gonna see Moxley as he wants to be. And like I said, I was a big fan. And now, as you know, I rarely watch AEW. Now, if I'm such a big fan, you'd think I'd still be watching. But it's what they're doing with him that doesn't draw my interest at all. And I don't. This worst wrestler ever. I disagree with you guys on Mox a lot, but he hasn't had interesting stuff to do.
If you want to make some fantasy picks on your favorite sports, check out Underdog Fantasy. It's all the rage, where you can choose higher or lower between 2 to 8 players, and you can win up to 325 times your entry. Use the code K100 at the Underdog Fantasy website, on the app, or at our personalized link, and you can receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash as well as a free pick. Underdog Fantasy offers a unique approach to fantasy sports and it's a simple pick 'em style format You can select players you believe will outperform expectations without the complexities of traditional daily fantasy sports. The user-friendly interface and growing community make it easy and fun to play, plus it's available in over 30 U.S. states. We will share our picks for you every week on K100 Sports. You can follow along or play against us. The user code K100 at UnderdogFantasy.com on the app or at the link included in the show notes and receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick. UnderdogFantasy.com. It's an underdog thing. Well, let's make a point too here. I wonder, okay, if maybe, and this comes back to the point, that I wonder if the guy going to rehab, because like if he had a drinking problem as bad as it was, that he had to go to rehab, he must have been very depressed, even while making like a fortune. And I'm just wondering if they like through rehab, they kind of like told you, hey, look, what do you got to be depressed about? Like, you're getting $191,000 like every 2 weeks. Let that be the focus of your family and stuff. And and that's why he doesn't say anything. But but then again, supposedly, bro, I heard that they do just like tons of interviews at that company where they just they record them. It's like the producers just say that's fine. Like it doesn't get reviewed. It goes into the truck and they air it on the show. And it's like it could just be anything, And I heard that the Moxley angle, and I heard this like about 6 weeks ago, that this angle was going nowhere. All it is them just running out beating people up, and that's the angle. And I haven't seen anything different than that.
Yeah,
that is the angle. So like, this whole thing about all the verbiage of like, they're just running out there beating people up,
Yeah.
And that's why when they do beatdowns, if you listen, and again, not hating, just stating, there's no heat.
Right. Well,
people don't care about them. The people don't take them seriously, and that's the problem because the booking's been bad. The beatdowns have been bad.
Right.
They don't look like a crew. You know what I'm saying? Like even when Brian Cage was those two Samoans or Hawaiians or whatever, remember those guys in AEW?
Right. Yeah.
That all they did was jobs.
Right.
Those guys look way tougher and more believable than the Death Riders.
Right.
Well, it's like I had hope when they started the Death Riders only because it was like, we're going to do this. It's going to be a revolution in AEW. We're going to change everything. But that was last fall. And they're still saying the same things and nothing's changed.
It's like, I know. It's like, yeah, right.
That's probably, like Konnan said, why the crowd doesn't care because it's like, oh, good, they're going to stomp someone again. And then what? It
was funny, too. I was at the gym today and I listened to Cornette and his boy gave their review of the opening segment with Kenny Omega and Ospreay and Cage and all the beatdown.
Right.
He said the exact same thing that we did about the beatdown.
Right. It was terrible.
I was like, yeah, that's right. So, it's like, we're not like, and we're not like listening.
And it's so funny because me and Cornette and Disco don't talk, right? We only talk to Eric when he comes on the show.
Right.
Right. We never talk with Bully Ray.
Right.
Or La Greca.
Right.
And so, but we're all saying the same thing. Gee, I wonder why.
Right. And even in Vince, Russo's, even he's like watches that stuff and like says like, like when Bischoff and everybody's in agreement, the people that don't even agree on things are in agreement and that doesn't look good. You should say, so, guys, this doesn't look good. Unless you're echo chambers. Oh, it doesn't matter. Dave said it looked good.
Right.
He said the beatdown. Like, really? I'd like to do a watch along with you on this.
That was terrible.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.